Fellas, in today's video, I'll be covering Black Widow in this simplified Marvel Rivals guide. If you can't decide to play between close or far range, Black Widow covers both bases. She's a duelist, a DPS, who has been making the rounds in ranked play, and now is the time to shine. Black Widow is fairly simple to learn, with abilities not to be slept on. But unfortunately, this does not mean they are easy to use. Luckily, the only thing to really practice is aiming for headshots and how to get into the high spots on each of the maps. As they are great for getting around, flanking and close range combat are going to be a highlight for her, paired with long range thanks to her sniper. In this video, their combos, playstyle, and more will be covered, so whether you're new to Black Widow or need a Season 1 refresher, this video will be for you. Her offensive toolkit consists of their baton. They do hit fast for okay damage, a rifle that packs a punch and fires decently fast, a sniper rifle version of said rifle that's really good for distance, and a kick that can launch an enemy and lets you kick them again up into the air. Their ultimate does do damage and slows down enemies. Their support defensive toolkit consists of being able to run and doing a running jump. And if you do get the team up, they get after images just like Hawkeye, which can be damaged. And then lastly, she is fairly unique by not having a passive ability. Now let's take a deeper dive into her abilities and see how to use them. Starting with her primary basic attack, the Widow's Bite Baton. This is a melee attack that does 45 damage per hit, and you can hit about 2 times a second, up to 3 meters. It is good to use while you are flanking, but besides that, you really won't get too much use out of them. Up next is her secondary primary weapon. That means every time you die, you will need to switch. This is a single shot rifle, dealing 120 damage every round, firing about every second with 8 rounds in the magazine. Now you should try to crit as much as possible to get the most amount of damage, as it deals incredible damage almost one-shotting the target. However, I did notice that after 10 or so meters, that's when the damage does start to fall off, with it becoming the worst around the 20 to 25 meter mark, doing not even half their health, thus taking 3 shots to get the elimination. Stacked with her basic attack is the straight shooter. It's pretty much the same as before, but this time you do get to ADS, and there is no damage drop off. This will make it easier to focus on getting headshots. And then making sure that you're on the high ground will make it easier for you to stay safe while you track your enemies. When you do ADS, or if you're in close, it does take about 2 headshots and 1 body shot to actually eliminate a tank. And if you listen closely, there is an audio cue for when it does switch to the sniper rifle mode. If you fire before you hear that cue, you'll do your basic rifle damage, which is not what you want when you're ADSing. Up next for her is Fleet Foot. With this, you press the shift button on PC and then you can run around. And you could do a power jump. It's very similar to Captain America, letting you run about 33% faster, and the power jump will let you get into the vantage spots more easier. On the right there, you do see we hold about 120 energy, using about 12 energy per second to run, and then jumping uses 24. When you're no longer running, they recover 30 energy a second after about a second delay. Now, mobility is a strong point for Black Widow, which means you'll likely run into some stray enemies. That's where Edge Dancer, her next attack, comes into play. That's with the E button. With this, you'll do a spinning kick, and then you have a 5-second timer, as you can see below the crosshair, for you to press the E button again, which will let you hookshot the enemy to do another kick, launching them in the air again. This will stun the enemy for about 1 second, and does about 35 damage per hit. This does have a 15-second cooldown, so you have to use it sparingly. Then as you can see just above the enemy, once you hookshot them, they have that little cloud, which shows that they are stunned. This is really good for comboing with your rifle to get an easy headshot. And now this brings us to her ultimate, the Electroplasma Explosion. With this, you switch your sniper rifle to do a Electroplasma Blast, which will damage enemies and leave plasma on the ground, slowing them for 80%. This does charge, and after about half a second of charging, you reach the full impact. The blast will have a range of 5.5 meters if you fire it right away, or 8 meters if you do get that charge up. And then the damage will be 120 if you just tap it, or 170 if you do get that charge in, with a big radius to boot. This isn't the strongest ultimate out there, and in fact you likely won't get any kills with it, but the main effect you do want to be using it for is the slowdown ability, as that's an 80% slowdown, and if you ever had that apply to you, you'll know it's like you're moving through mud. And that makes this a great opener, useful in the middle of a firefight, or even better, used to clean up the end of a fight. I really don't want to sell it short as it's not that great, but it is more useful than you think it would be. And then lastly, we have our team up with Hawkeye Super Sensory Hunt. Hawkeye will share his hunter sight and you can see after images of the enemy players. And so you can use this every 30 seconds, and every half of a second, they leave behind an after image for a duration of 8 seconds. And then you can shoot these after images to deal damage to the hero as well. Although one important thing to note is that they cannot be crit. Now Hawkeye is a fairly common character, so this is something that you should learn, but it's not going to be a crutch to really rely on. And so that's the gist of her abilities. Let's hop into some matches and go over how to use her. Black Widow does 120 damage for a hip fire shot with a rifle. Learning how to use this over her batons will take you a lot further than just using her batons up close. Even using in a combo, a hip fire shot and then 3 baton hits will knock out most squishies, but landing the headshot will be a lot more potent. Her shots can be a little slow, so learning how to stay calm and collected during the heat of a battle will take you a long way as well. Playing some Doom matches will help you with focusing shots and staying calm, and that'll make quick play or even ranked not feel as chaotic. If you're just starting out with Black Widow, staying back or on the high ground will be the best area to play in. This will keep you somewhat safe while you focus on damaging. Eventually, playing more central with a focus on quick shots or no scopes will be the better way to go, letting you stay closer to your team and allowing you to get healed more readily. With her Fleetfoot, she is great for running and jumping, allowing you to easily escape or to get into areas and scope out the zone. The Vanguard are slower, meaning you should have an easier time landing the critical shots. Again, 2 headshots and a body shot is all that is needed to get a kill. For the PC players, spending some time in something like aim labs can help a great deal as well for landing shots, but also is just generally good advice. For console players, playing around the practice range, the target zone area will let you set up moving targets. This is only so helpful as it's robots moving and not real players. However, it is a good start on the process. If needed, try tinkering with your sensitivity. This will help you land flick shots more easier. Now, Black Widow's ultimate is great when used on a group of enemies, but most certainly can be used on just one target if it means staying alive and winning a fight. It's not going to one-shot anyone, but it will slow down targets long enough for you to get in some easy shots. I want to say that Black Widow is a good ult to Hawkeye or Hela, but they really aren't, as both of them can hit harder for closer and further range. Where Black Widow shines, however, is on her mobility and flanking, really putting in the work to get used to no scoping, or in my opinion, drag scoping, will let you get more versatility out of her, allowing for better plays and being able to live longer to get more picks. I think it's best to focus on the healers of the group. She does not do enough damage fast enough and consistently to get easy picks in, meaning those healers will be able to replenish all the damage that you do with ease. So keeping a focus on the healers should take their attention off of the Vanguard or DPS, allowing you and your team to eliminate them shortly afterwards. That does not mean that she can't handle her own in a fight. She is actually very good if you can land your shots. Now, what is her combos? You shoot your gun and you shoot your gun again. Situationally, using her double kick to stun an enemy will let you get away easy or let you get in an easy headshot. This does require you being close to a target, and you really shouldn't be all that much, but the kick will stun and launch the enemy, which should allow you to get in at least one easy shot. The batons may let you get some combos in, but for the damage to time ratio and how close you have to be to a target, I really can't suggest using them at all, if ever. Black Widow is tricky as everything will be situational, from the map you're playing to your comfortability. Even if you're unsure of how to be playing, focusing as a sniper in the back will definitely be a safe way to play. Otherwise, run and gun will also take you very far. And that's a wrap on the simplified Black Widow Marvel Rivals guide. Tell me, did I miss anything, or do you have any tips of your own that you think other people should know? Leave it in the comments below. And hey, hit that like button if you're still watching, subscribe for more videos like this if you haven't already, and stay tuned for the next one.